If you want to leave a comment on this video, here's how. Follow the link in the description to our blog and leave a comment there. All you have to do is make a fandom account and you're good to go. You can also follow the link to our tweet at TTTEC Radio and reply to that. We can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Hello, everyone. I'm Trains and Tugs, and joining us today is my special guest and good friend, Joey Vance.
Joey Vance here with Flex Seal. Hello.
And today's special episode of Trackside Tunes is dedicated to the 50th anniversary of the Beatles' Let It Be.
Yes.
Which honestly today came out 50 years ago. So, and yeah, we're just gonna be talking about it. So, Joey, let's talk about the history. So many people know this, but Let It Be being released, even though it was released after Abbey Road, was originally called the Get Back Project and was meant to be returning to roots for the Beatles.
Yes.
And honestly, tensions were high after the White Album, so it didn't really help with Let It Be, which then was released in like 1970, after they announced their breakup, or before they after they announced their breakup, or at
hmm
least Paul did. But yeah, the cover on it is it's not like as crazy as Sergeant Pepper's or Revolver,
Or Revolver, yeah, that's what I
or,
was gonna say.
or
Revolver,
the,
I don't know about Revolver, but like Revolver's
the
like has like a really interesting album cover. I like.
yeah, and it's not as simplistic as the White Album or Please Please Me, but
Yeah.
it's somewhere in the middle as being, you know what it you know what it's a good album. It's been parodied a lot.
Yeah.
And now, of course, let's talk about some of our favorite songs. Joey, you want to start?
I think I'll let you start with this one.
Uh,
Do you know what the album cover looks like to me for Let It Be? It kind of reminds me of a Hard Day's Night album cover with like the squares.
oh yeah. Um. So my favorite song, one of my favorite songs off the album is "Across the Universe."
Mm.
It has a really good song. It does match the '60s psychedelic kind of way with the guitars, and I think they use with the guitars, and the lyrics really uh,
Yeah.
do reflect some '60s stuff. Um, and it was the name of a movie, which was a musical,
Yeah.
and Bono sung "I Am the Walrus." So
Goo goo goo.
yeah, so. And the repeating line, "Nothing's gonna change my world," is probably has gotten stuck in my head multiple times. It is really a good song. So Joey, what's your next favorite one off of Let It Be?
I really like the Long and Winding Road. It's I don't know what about it. It's just like really sad. Like it's almost sad in a way, you know?
Yeah, it kind of goes well with Across the Universe in the sense that
It does, yeah.
and the beginning line, "The long and winding road." It really is. Like, this album does feel like the last Beatles album, even if Abbey Road technically is the last session recording,
Yeah.
and it really does go good together with the whole album. Um, Anything else you want to comment on that song with?
I don't think so.
Okay. Another one is I forget something like after the running on the 1901 after the 909 or something like that. But it is a train song, so yeah, I guess that's a linking between Tamis the Tank Engine
Oh,
and
an
also
interesting
the fact
fact.
that Ringo was on the album.
Song about trains.
But like yeah, it's a high pace. it's a high-paced song about trying to get a train, and I think they end up missing the train. But it is a good rocker if you want to have a good time. And
Fun fact about the Long and Winding Road. Paul McCartney said he came up with the title during one of his visits to Property High Park Farm. So that's like a pretty interesting fact, if you ask me. You know,
how about another favorite song from you, Joey?
I'll have to think about this one. I like Take a Pony. It's really good. It's really nice. It's a really nice song.
Anything you want to say about that? Anything else you want to say about that?
Uh, no, not really.
All right. Um, I guess this one is gonna come up eventually. Let It Be from the album is different from the version,
Yeah.
and also had a third version from Let It Be Naked, the alternate version of Let It Be, which
Yeah.
was different from the single version to begin with. Very complicated stuff. Yeah, there's your brain teaser for the day. But Paul wrote "Let It Be" as the as a way of being as like he got it from a he was dealing with stuff at the time, and his mother came to him in a dream, and she's
You
like, you
know?
know what, let it be, man, let it be. Of
Yeah.
course,
I
wow, of
was
course,
sleeping,
that's
I
not
was
what he
sleeping.
heard.
And my mom came and she's like, let it be, Paul. Let it be. I was like, wow. Yeah, he tells that story. He loves telling that story.
Nice. Kind of
No,
sound like a roaster.
my mom came to me in a dream, and
Wow, nice.
it's more.
And it kind of evolved from there into the song that we know, and everyone knows like the version with like all the orchestral stuff and things like that, but I really like the more cut back version of Let It Be on from Let It Be Naked. Oh wait, no, Let It Be dot 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 naked. And yeah, and the single version isn't bad. There is a bit of fun fact. There is a bit of like a ghost guitaring in the background. That was due to George Harrison's guitar being overdubbed later. I mean, the thing I kind of find confusing if the Beatles were going to be doing it was it was called the Get Back Project, and it was meant to be like a return to form, how they did like albums like A Hard Day's Night and Please Please Me. What I kind of don't get is why, like, wouldn't they do it like do the songs in one take if that was going to be the case?
Yeah.
Like going back to those sessions, or were they going to be doing stuff like rubbers, like kind of like in between, like before the Sergeant Pepper stuff, but not like early, kind of like Rubber Soul and Revolver.
Yeah.
Because when you think of the name Get Back, it's like, oh yeah, get back to form, like stuff like that.
Yes.
And overall, I really like George's guitar solo work is really good in this song, and it definitely does show how
George
much the Beatles really were really talented,
was
and
really talented.
and
Surprised he
their
didn't like
fame.
sing for a lot of songs, because he did really have like a sort of a good voice.
Yeah, and
My mind I've got my mind set on you by George Harrison. And it's like one of my favorite songs. So I mean,
yeah, uh, when we was Fab and all those years ago were really good songs, and once the Beatles really started experimenting with like the psychedelic rock genre, they kind of never truly went back to form. You could see this with like their reunion songs "Freeze a Bird" and "Real Love."
Yeah,
They kind of sound like they more sound um like White Album tracks
they do. The White
than
Album, a whole bunch of like
really
different
anything
genres of
the early.
songs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but you know, maybe someone does, but what can you can't please everybody, of course.
yeah. The White Album was all over the place. With Rocky Raccoon, Helter Skelter, you know.
I got blisters on my pistons.
We do not bring that up again, James. No, James, naughty, naughty. But
Yeah, okay.
another song on Let It Be that I really like is Maggie May. It's short and sweet, and I find the song really funny. It's a really funny song, but it's short because they never got to finish it yet. They still put it on the album.
It's kind of like a Her Majesty in like a it's like Her Majesty in the sense it's a short little ditty, if anything.
Yeah,
But it's still a good song, and yeah, and yeah, and that kind of brings in like a lot of the other stuff. Um, now, I one of like the most well known, of course, is "Get Back," and people are like, it's a really good song because like it, they brought in Billy Preston to play organ on it, and I think this is where they were on top of their game when they were doing this. And it's a really fun rocker. And oh, Joey, is there any George Harrison songs you like off this album?
yeah. I like one. I Mean Mine. George is singing that is tremendous. I swear. I don't understand why they didn't let him sing in a lot of songs.
Yeah,
It's
George is a musician. I really like him. Um, I really like, especially his album Cloud Nine,
yeah,
which I own on vinyl. But songs like When We Was Fab and again the aforementioned All Those Years Ago, like you can tell he is a phenomenal musician and singer.
definitely.
Yeah. Another song off the album I like is For You Blue. The guitaring on that is really good, and
Hmm.
George's lyrics again is a really good one he's done, and another classic from it. So yeah. Any more songs from your list of songs you like off of Let It Be?
Did I already say Dig a Pony because I think it's really good.
Yeah. You said Dig a Pony. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I
Yeah,
I think
dig
we've
it.
covered every song on this album.
And not all of them, but I guess we just yeah. So overall, how would you describe your relationship with this album? Like, how do you feel about it?
um, I really like it. I definitely really like it. It has a whole bunch of great songs on it. There's a few that I don't like, but overall, there's a lot of good songs that that you know there's more good songs than bad songs on this album. So I think I really like this album, like maybe like 8 out of 10 for me.
Um, for this album, I mean, I wouldn't place it in my top 10 just because I have a lot more
Yeah,
favorites. Sergeant Pepper's Magical Mystery Tour and the White Album, as well as Abbey Road. But it's still a good album. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they released Abbey Road after Let It Be, then I feel that it would. Like I don't think Let It Be is a bad ending to the Beatles, like the Beatles catalog or career. I just think I just think Abbey Road would have been a better
Yeah, I know what you mean.
like a goodbye everybody, because the last song on the second last song is The End, which didn't even feature John, because John had already left at that point. Like, basically it was the beginning of the Threedle sessions. If you don't know what the Threedle sessions, it's basically the reunion from the 90s. But I mean, the song, like, Let It Be, if you don't count it as the last album by the Beatles, is a great piece of work. But if if you take into account they had recorded it, like the recordings had gone like really bad, and the documentary, we'll talk about that like a little bit, was basically showed them getting ripped apart from each other with only few moments of happiness into it.
Yeah.
You really start to understand like how like tensions were rising and stuff. Like, if
Well,
okay, now let's talk about what we've seen of the documentary, because it hasn't been widely released.
well, I'm not sure if this has to do anything with the documentary because I've never really seen it, but I think there was an incident during the Get Back sessions where John jumped Paul's fence and
Jesus.
yelled at him, and they had a fight of him not coming into the studio to record.
Yeah. Um, I there was this one moment from what I've seen, was where Ringo and Paul are like in the studio, and they're like, "Hello, hello, hello, Paul," and he's like, "Hello, Ringo," and they start playing the piano, doing a duet on the piano. And I think moments like this show like the Beatles, even if they were fighting, they were still
Love
like
each
brothers.
other. Yeah, they might have had like a little fights, but they still love each other. They were family, you know.
And you could still see that when like when they were being asked about John Lennon's assassination, like when they were how they're taking it, like like Paul was trying to hide his sadness by going to the studio.
Yeah,
It might seem like he was acting like a total jerk, but really, people like when people
people have
close
different
to,
ways of grieving. I know.
yeah. And with like when Ringo was asked, he's like, "All right, right. If I get the news here." The next day, he flew to comfort Yoko and Sean.
Yeah.
That's how much and George felt sad,
Uh,
and George felt sad.
do you know after John Lennon died in the hospital, All My Loving played.
Hmm, that's sad.
Yeah, sad.
And basically, this turned from a video talking about Let It Be to just the Beatles in general.
Yes.
But I think it's necessary to understand how the Beatles felt after the breakup, because they were fighting like mad, and they still kept ties with each other, even if they did piss each other off.
Yeah.
And John Lennon and like Free as a Bird and Real Love, they might not have actually reunioned there, but they're still Beatles songs to me, because all of them are on in those songs.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. Now,
Definitely.
this year we expect the Let It Be box set, which will include, and the new Let It Be documentary made by same person who did um the Percy Jackson films.
Yeah.
Um, are you excited for this, Joey?
Definitely, because I have not seen the documentary or anything like that, you know.
And
So,
we also do expect the Beatles. We do expect the Beatles box set for the Let It Be, which will include a remix of the album, probably the songs used from the soundtrack. And a bunch of footage and outtakes, of course.
Hmm.
But hopefully, I do hope they release a remastered version of the original documentary, because it would be nice to see both of the documentaries, because they're sort of the yin and they're probably going to be the yin and yang to each of the Beatles, like each Beatle side of the Beatles. You got the good and the bad, and of course we can't forget about the rooftop concert. We'll touch on this right now. So the rooftop concert is like, they are the music videos for some of the songs on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I think the rooftop concert. I don't know how I feel about it. But in one way, I feel that it was a nice way of, like, having a concert without, like having all the screaming fans, like making your eardrums bleed, burst. But second of all, you didn't really. It's kind of like not everyone got to see their favorite band perform one last time, which, I mean, that's fine, but maybe there's some people wanting the Beatles to tour again, and they never did, which it's 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 honestly up to how you perceive it. Personally, I'm okay with the rooftop concert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. Anything else you want to say about Let It Be?
I don't think so. It's well, I guess one thing. It's a really good album, and if you've not listened to it before, I would suggest you listen to it now.
Yeah. Why are you watching us? Go listen to it. Go
Hey,
listen
go
to
watch
it.
it. Pause this. Go watch it. Yeah, go.
Go watch it. Go listen to it. Go do something. Okay.
Let's go finish this because we
Yeah.
recorded.
Yeah. Finish this, please. Okay, so yeah, okay, before we
Smash
go,
that
I'd like to
like
thank
button.
Joey for doing this episode with me.
Yeah.
Um,
It was
Bailey, I pitched this idea to Bailey, but he was fine with it. But he
said
kind of wanted to do his own thing, so I'm like, okay, is it all right if I get Joey to do it? And he's like, sure. Um,
now I'm
yeah, Bailey and me will be back to doing our next episode, like with the same formula and stuff. I just wanted to do this little episode talking about a Beatles occasion, because we talk about music. Um, so yeah, Joey, what do you have to say before we go?
uh eat your vegetables, wash your hands, and don't go out in public.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
necessary things
Yeah, we
like
got to
go to the
date
grocery
this
store.
record. We got to date this recording, Joey. Yeah, we got, yeah. Staying home. Just binge watch community radio until this pandemic's over.
Yeah, yeah, definitely binge watch us. But for real, wash your hands. If you need to go out in public, wear gloves and a mask, and only go out for like the essentials like food and such. You know.
Yeah. And anyway, that's it from us. Uh, goodbye, and
See you guys later.
yep, goodbye.